Family made me sit outside my sister's wedding on the floor because an important guest was arriving. Then my husband walked in and everything I had been hiding for 5 years was about to come out. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and this is the story of how I stopped letting them make me feel small. I grew up constantly compared to my older sister, Amanda. She was the perfect daughter. Straight A student, cheerleader captain, marketing director at a Fortune 500 company. I was different. Pursued social work, helped underprivileged communities, worked with nonprofits. Every achievement I made got minimized. That is nice, but Amanda just closed a 6-figure deal. Family gatherings centered around her accomplishments while mine barely got mentioned. At my college graduation, my parents showed up 2 hours late because Amanda needed help preparing for a client presentation. The message was clear. Amanda was the pride. I was the afterthought. 5 years ago, I met James at a charity fundraiser. He was presenting on community development initiatives. I was drawn to his intelligence, his compassion, his humility. We dated for 8 months before he took me to meet his grandmother at her estate. Large property, but he was incredibly down to earth. Never flaunted anything. Drove a 10-year-old truck. Wore simple clothes. Focused on making a difference. I fell in love with his values, his kindness, his vision for helping others. When I brought him home to meet my family, it was a disaster. My mother said, "A social worker? Sarah, really? What happened to ambition?" My father asked how we would afford children on nonprofit salaries. Amanda was patronizing. "Well, I suppose someone has to help the poor people." Amanda got engaged to Brad, a venture capitalist. Designer suits, luxury car, constantly talking about deals and investments. My parents loved him immediately. Finally, someone with real prospects in this family. I married James quietly in a small ceremony at a community center. My parents attended but left early for Amanda's work gala. Amanda's engagement to Brad became a massive celebration with 300 guests and a live band. What my family did not know was that James is heir to the Mitchell Foundation, a multi-billion-dollar philanthropic organization established by his grandfather. Assets under management over $3 billion. They fund hospitals, schools, community centers across the country. James serves as executive director, managing grants totaling hundreds of millions annually. He lives modestly by choice, drives that old truck because it runs fine, wears simple clothes because expensive ones would not make him better at his job, gives away 90% of his inheritance to causes he believes in. I was also thriving. Director of community outreach for a major consulting firm, making $165,000 annually. Published author on social impact. Advisory board member for 3 nonprofits. We chose not to tell my family any of this. James said, "If they cannot respect you for the work you do, they do not deserve to know the resources behind it." I agreed, but it still hurt. Family gatherings were torture. My mother asking, "How is the nonprofit work?" Still saving the world on food stamps. Amanda saying, "Brad just made $2 million on his latest investment. How is James's community center project?" My father saying he always knew I would be the one who did not amount to anything. I endured it with grace. James with quiet strength. He never revealed who he was. Never defended himself with wealth. "Let them think what they want," he would say. "We know the truth." Amanda and Brad's wedding was a massive affair. $200,000 budget. Destination wedding at an exclusive resort. I received an invitation that made me a regular guest, not even part of the wedding party. At the bridal shower, I was not invited to help plan. Just told to bring a gift from the registry. My mother said they did not think I would understand the sophistication they were going for. 3 weeks before the wedding, the resort called Amanda. There was an issue with final payment. $25,000 due immediately or the entire booking would be cancelled. Brad's parents backed out of their portion due to an investment loss. Amanda panicked. My parents had maxed out their contribution. They were looking at canceling everything. Then an anonymous donation came through from Community Event Support LLC covering the balance. Amanda said the universe was rewarding her for being a good person. I knew the truth. James made that donation through one of his foundation's LLCs. I wanted my sister to have her day despite everything. Wedding day arrived. James and I showed up dressed nicely but simply. Nothing designer. Nothing flashy. Amanda pulled me aside immediately. There's a seating issue. A major donor is coming and we need space in the main reception hall. She directed us to a waiting area outside, literally folding chairs on the patio near the kitchen entrance. I sat down trying not to cry. James was furious, but I asked him to stay calm. It is her day. Do not make a scene. Then Brad came outside and saw us. What are you doing here? I thought Amanda said you were inside. I explained we were waiting for space to open up. He was condescending. Right. Well, stay here until someone gets you. We have VIP guests arriving. James started to stand. I stopped him. Brad kept going. You know, Amanda is really generous even inviting you. You are kind of, well, you do not exactly fit the image we are trying to project. He called me an embarrassment. Said I made the family look bad with my charity work lifestyle. I was humiliated. Tears starting. Then Amanda came out and saw me crying. Oh my God, are you causing drama already? I tried to explain, but she cut me off. You know what? That dress is completely inappropriate anyway. You look like you are going to a job interview, not a wedding. She grabbed a glass of champagne from a passing server and poured it down the front of my dress. My parents came outside. So what happened? Instead of defending me, my mother said, maybe you should just go home, Sarah. You are making things difficult. My father added, we told you to dress appropriately. This is what happens. I was shaking, champagne soaking through my dress. James was about to explode. Then someone called out, Mr. Mitchell? James Mitchell. The resort manager rushed over. Mr. Mitchell, we did not realize you would be attending. If we had known this was your family event, we would have prepared VIP accommodations. Brad froze. Amanda went pale. My parents looked confused. The resort manager continued, your foundation has been such a generous supporter of our community outreach programs. We have that $50,000 grant check ready for you to present on Monday. James smiled calmly. Actually, I was just here to support my wife. The wife they just made sit outside on folding chairs. The wife they just humiliated. That was when I knew everything was about to change. The resort manager started talking about foundation programs. Brad stood frozen, slowly processing what he was hearing. Mr. Mitchell from the Mitchell Foundation. James nodded. That is right. Amanda grabbed Brad's arm. What is he talking about? Brad could barely speak. The Mitchell Foundation. They are one of the largest philanthropic organizations in the country. They fund hundreds of millions in grants. My mother said that was impossible. He is a social worker. He drives an old truck. James stayed calm. I am executive director of a foundation with $3 billion in assets. We fund hospitals, schools, community centers. Last year alone, we distributed $180 million in grants. My father stammered. Sarah never said anything. I stood up, champagne-stained dress and all. You never asked. You just assumed. The resort manager added nervously, Mr. Mitchell, your foundation also provides significant funding to this resort's workforce development program. James turned to Brad. You are in venture capital, correct? Brad nodded eagerly. Yes, sir. Brad Thompson from Thompson Venture Partners. James's voice was ice. I know who you are. Your firm applied for partnership status with our foundation 3 months ago. You wanted us to co-invest in your social impact fund. Brad's eyes lit up desperately. Yes, exactly. That partnership would be incredible for both of us. James cut him off. Would be. Past tense. That partnership is cancelled. Brad went pale. What? No, sir. Please. James's voice was cold. You just called my wife an embarrassment. You said she makes the family look bad. You humiliated her at your own wedding while she sat outside like she was not good enough to be inside. Amanda jumped in. We did not know who you were. James looked at her. Exactly. You did not know. So this is how you treat people you think have less than you. Brad was panicking now. Mr. Mitchell, please. That partnership represents $15 million in capital for our fund. We have already made commitments based on it. James's expression did not change. You made commitments before securing the partnership. That was poor judgment. Amanda turned on Brad. What is he talking about? Brad could not answer. James answered for him. Based on the due diligence report on my desk, Thompson Venture Partners has already signed term sheets with 3 companies, promising them funding from a partnership that was never approved. You have about $8 million in commitments you cannot cover. Wedding guests were gathering now, sensing something was happening. My mother tried to salvage it. Let us all calm down. This is a misunderstanding. Sarah, tell your husband this is a misunderstanding. I looked at her. Is it? Amanda poured champagne on my dress. You told me to go home. Dad said this is what happens when I do not dress appropriately. My father protested. We were joking. You are too sensitive. I shook my head. For 28 years. That is a long joke. The resort manager approached nervously. Mr. Mitchell, there is a matter about the final payment for this event. James asked, what about it? The manager explained, the $25,000 payment that came through 3 weeks ago from Community Event Support LLC. We just realized that is one of your foundation's entities. We should have given you the foundation discount. Amanda's eyes went wide. Wait, that's anonymous donation. That was you. James nodded. Sarah wanted you to have your wedding, so we covered it. The manager continued, but there is still a balance of $30,000 due today for the full event. Without payment, We will have to cancel the reception. Brad protested, but that donation was supposed to cover everything. The manager shook his head. No, sir. That covered the venue deposit that was going to cause a cancellation. The final payment for catering, staff, entertainment is still outstanding. Everyone turned to look at me. Amanda's voice was sharp. You have the money. You can pay the rest. I just stared at her. My mother stepped forward. Sarah, please. Family helps family. I felt something break inside me. Family helps family. You made me sit outside on folding chairs at my own sister's wedding. My father tried again. We did not know about James's foundation. I cut him off. That should not matter. I am your daughter. My work helping communities should have been enough. James put his hand on my shoulder. You do not owe them anything. I looked at my sister, my parents, Brad, all staring at me desperately. Guests were recording on their phones now. I made my decision. I paid the deposit because I wanted to be kind. But kindness has to be mutual. Amanda asked what that meant. It means I am not paying the rest. Figure it out yourselves. My mother gasped. You would ruin your sister's wedding. I looked at her directly. No, Mom. You did that when you treated me like I was not good enough to sit inside with everyone else. Brad tried to approach James about the partnership. Mr. Mitchell, please, can we discuss this privately? James was firm. No, there is nothing to discuss. The Mitchell Foundation does not partner with people who measure worth by bank accounts. Brad literally fell to his knees. Please, I will lose everything. The investors, the credibility. I have commitments. James was unmoved. Consequences. You should have considered those before humiliating someone for working in non-profits. Amanda screamed at me. This is your fault. You ruined everything. I shook my head. I ruined it by existing, by marrying someone you look down on, by choosing work that matters over work that pays. She kept going. You could have told us. You let us think. I finished for her. I let you show who you really are. And you did. The resort manager announced that without payment, guests needed to vacate the reception space. The wedding coordinator was in tears. Caterers were asking about payment. The band was packing up. Everything was falling apart in real time. Guests were leaving, confused and scandalized. Brad's parents arrived, saw the chaos, and started arguing with my parents about who was responsible. My mother tried one more time. Sarah, please, what do you want? An apology. We will apologize right now. I looked at her. I do not want your apology now. I wanted your respect before. There is a difference. I took James's hand and started walking to our car. Amanda chased after us. Wait! Where are you going? You cannot just leave us like this. I turned back. You told me to wait outside. I am just following instructions. My father called out, Sarah, please. We are your family. We love you. I stopped. You love the version of me that succeeds in ways you understand. But you could not love me when you thought I failed. That is not love, Dad. We got in our car. As we pulled away, I saw Brad on the phone frantically calling investors. Amanda arguing with our parents. Guests taking videos. My mother sitting on the steps crying. The resort staff dismantling decorations. and I felt free. I watched my sister's perfect wedding collapse in my rearview mirror. The golden child who could do no wrong was standing in a parking lot watching her dream day end. My parents, who spent 28 years telling me I was not enough, were begging the resort manager for mercy. And Brad, who called me an embarrassment an hour ago, was losing his entire business. James squeezed my hand. Are you okay? I realized I was better than okay. I was finally free, but it was not over yet. I woke up the next morning to 63 missed calls. Text messages begging, threatening, guilting. My mother, how could you do this to your sister? Amanda, Brad left me. This is all your fault. I checked social media. Videos from the wedding were going viral. Comments were overwhelmingly on my side. The family treated her like garbage, then expected her to pay for the wedding. Poured champagne on her dress, then asked for money. Unbelievable. That husband's response was perfect. No partnership for people who judge others. I showed James. I feel guilty. Is that crazy? He shook his head. Not crazy. You have a kind heart. That is what they took advantage of for 28 years. Monday morning, Brad's firm imploded. The 3 companies he promised funding to went public with the failed commitments. His investors pulled out. Thompson Venture Partners filed for bankruptcy within 2 weeks. Brad had to sell his luxury car, break his penthouse lease, move back with his parents. Amanda broke off the engagement. I cannot marry someone with nothing. My mother called crying. Your sister's heart is broken. Brad abandoned her. She has nothing now. I responded calmly. She has what she valued most, her image and her pride. My achievements became public knowledge. Director of Community Outreach, published author, advisory board member, married to James Mitchell, executive director of a $3 billion foundation. The same people who pitted poor Sarah with her nonprofit job now wanted to network. Amanda sent an email asking me to say the wedding thing was a misunderstanding. Her reputation was ruined. She had become the bride whose wedding imploded when she humiliated her secretly wealthy sister. I responded with one word, no. 6 months later, I gave a keynote speech at a national social work conference. My research on community-based intervention programs had become nationally recognized. James sat in the front row beaming with pride. After my speech, a young woman approached me crying. Her family did not support her career in education. She asked how I found the strength to keep going when everyone told me I was wasting my potential. I told her the truth. You do not need their approval to succeed. You need your own. Build a life so meaningful that their opinions become irrelevant. Build a family of people who choose to see your worth. And never shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. My mother sent an email after that speech went viral. She said she was proud of me, that she always knew I would do important work. Asked if we could start over, maybe have lunch to discuss my foundation connections. I read it, closed it, and deleted it. Because some bridges are not meant to be rebuilt. Some distances are exactly the right size. The Mitchell Foundation announced a new $50 million initiative funding grassroots community organizations. James and I lead it together. We work with the people my family used to call charity cases. The people whose work they dismissed as not amounting to anything. And we have never been happier. Thanks for listening to the end. If you have ever been made to feel like you are not enough by the people who should love you most, remember this. Your worth is not determined by who recognizes it. Build your own empire. Find your own people. Live so well that their opinions become background noise. And when they come back asking for what they once rejected, remember, you do not owe them access to the life they told you you would never have. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself joy. You owe yourself the freedom to be exactly who you are. That is enough. You are enough. You always were.